I witnessed a lawyer expose a mother's 15-year lie in family court. The judge's reaction changed 5 children's lives forever. The most devastating moment I've ever witnessed in a courtroom wasn't a murder confession or a violent outburst. It was the sound of 5 children learning their entire lives had been built on a lie parenting and watching a judge struggle to maintain composure as the truth unraveled before him. I'm a court reporter with 22 years of experience. I've transcribed thousands of cases, but this one from 3 years ago still haunts me. It was a seemingly routine custody modification hearing the mother, I'll call her Diane, had primary custody of 5 children ranging from 8 to 16 years old. The father, James, was seeking increased visitation after relocating closer to the family's standard procedure. Diane had always portrayed James as a reluctant father who abandoned his family for his career. For 15 years, she'd maintained that narrative parent in previous hearings and school records, and apparently to the children themselves. The court had historically sided with her, limiting James' visitation and requiring substantial child support that day. James had a new attorney paired, a young woman who appeared so unassuming that Diane's lawyer barely acknowledged her during pre-hearing discussions. But something changed when this attorney opened her briefcase. The judge began by asking about James' improved circumstances warranting modification. His attorney nodded and said, "Your Honor," before addressing the modification. "We need to correct the record regarding why my client had limited visitation. In the first place, she approached with a document. This is a certified letter from the United States Army confirming my client's deployment history from 2007 to 2018. The judge reviewed it while she continued. Mr. James Walsh did not abandon his family for his career as repeatedly claimed. He served 3 combat tours in Afghanistan and 2 in Iraq. His limited visitation was due to active military service." The courtroom fell silent. The judge's expression darkened as he studied the document. She presented emails between Diane and James where she explicitly threatened to tell the children he had abandoned them if he contested custody after his deployments. There were school records where Diane had listed James as whereabouts unknown during years he was serving overseas. Most damning were recorded phone calls between the children and James that Diane had supervised where she could be heard coaching the children to ask why their father chose the Army over them. The judge, a Vietnam veteran himself, removed his glasses and rubbed his eyes. When he looked up, his face had transformed from judicial neutrality to barely controlled fury. "Are the children present in the building today?" he asked. They were waiting in the court's family room. The judge ordered a recess and requested all parties, including the children, meet in his chambers. Paired, an extremely unusual move. "I wasn't in chambers, but the bailiff later told me what happened." The judge explained to the children as gently as possible that their father had never abandoned them. He showed the oldest ones photos of their father in uniform, receiving commendations. He explained that their father had been fighting for his country while sending home most of his pay to support them. When they returned to the courtroom, the oldest boy, 16, walked directly to his father and embraced him for what appeared to be the first time in years. The younger children followed hesitantly. The 12-year-old daughter was sobbing, repeatedly asking, "Why did Mom say you left us?" The judge called the hearing back to order, his voice noticeably strained. He looked directly at Diane and said something I've never heard in my decades of court reporting. "In my 27 years on this bench, I have never witnessed a more calculated, sustained campaign to alienate children from a parent. You have weaponized these children against their father who was serving his country. You have robbed them of his presence and him of their childhood." He immediately granted temporary full custody to James pending a full investigation. He also ordered Diane to pay all court costs and attorney fees and referred the case to the district attorney for possible criminal charges of perjury and fraud. As Diane broke down, the judge added, "The damage you've done cannot be measured in years or dollars. These children will spend their lives questioning what else about their reality isn't true." The epilogue came 2 years later when I was assigned to another hearing involving the family. The children were thriving in their father's care. The oldest had enlisted in the Air Force, proud to follow his father's military legacy. Diane had completed court-ordered therapy and parenting classes and was gradually rebuilding relationships with her children through supervised visitation.